Today is mostly downhill and a welcome recovery day from yesterday's 7,000-foot climb. There are a litany of scenic stops along the route, including Panorama Point, the Fluted Wall, Petroglyphs Panels, and Hickman Natural Bridge. It would be nice to go a bit farther than 47 miles, but there's nowhere else to stop past Hanksville. We'll be enjoying the scenery of Capitol Reef as we follow Utah 24 along the Fremont River.
Good morning, it's day 19, Monday, June 3rd. I got a 6:05 a.m. start out of Torrey, and I'm going to be honest with you, I am nervous about these upcoming 3 days. Today is the easiest of the three and only 89 miles, but not much climbing. The problem is the next 2 days after that. The following day is 80 some miles with 7,300 feet of climbing. It'll be by far the most difficult day of the ride, or difficult day I think all summer. And then after that, 83 miles and 3,500 feet of climbing into Dolores. And no services in between. We're going to hit Hanksville later this morning, and that'll be the last services we see for 120 miles. No joke. Oh, this is beautiful. I'm going to set up a time lapse here. We're deviating a bit from the original plan. The original plan was to go to Hanksville today, and then Hanksville to Hite, Hite to Natural Bridges to Blanding, and we're being a little bit more aggressive, going from Torrey all the way to the Colorado River. I wouldn't even know what city to call that. It's just wherever the Colorado meets the road that we're on. And then the following day, the 7,300 foot of climbing, 80 some miles. That one's going to take us from the river up to Blanding. That's the new plan. See how it goes. That is Chimney Rock. Anybody else getting some serious spaceman spiff vibes? Wow, what a setting. I'm riding through what must be parts of Capitol Reef State Park, and I am just in this canyon with red rock walls on either side of me and in front of me. This and a river to my right. This is superb. I already know today's getting a 10 out of 10 for scenery. This morning's healthy bike snack is fruit slices. Yeah, it's like going to the orchard and picking a fresh fruit off a tree. Oh, I need to do it. So natural. I did have a proper banana before I left, and I'm gonna have more breakfast in Hanksville when I arrive. For the time being, fruit slices. Woo! Sun peeked over the mountains. I had to put on my sunglasses and sunscreen on my face. You're wondering what's in this bag. You know I keep a snack in there, yes. And then this tiny little pouch wallet thing with some cash, credit cards, and a driver's license. I have an air tag in here in case this gets misplaced. I keep the lens caps for my cameras in here. Cameras are on the bike. And what else is in here? My chapstick is in there. And some cards I printed off. They're the size of business cards, just printed on normal paper with a QR code and a URL link to the YouTube playlist. I actually gave one out last night at the Wonderland RV Park. A couple was asking questions. I gave one to them. And then 30 minutes later, they came to our campsite and they said, "We watched your first couple videos. They're great." And they commented on one. So that's nice. That's what's in my bag. And the bag has to make it 3 or 4 more days to Dolores, Colorado, when my wife's going to be bringing me a replacement I ordered on Amazon. This is ripped halfway through. It has to make it just a few more days. I think it will. 2 more things that are in my bag. A pen, I think I've only used that once, and the remote control for the vibration alarm on the bike, which I set up if I'm heading into a convenience store quick and I don't lock up the bike. I set it up last night too, and I always forget that I had turned it on. And so last night at the campground, I thought I don't want anybody messing with my bike overnight. So I turned on the vibration alarm. And of course, when I'm packing up this morning and mounting my tent to the front of the bike, that thing goes off loud. And I felt terrible because we're at a campground and it's 4 or 6 in the morning. Passing through a little town of Caneville, Utah. Caineville. Not much here. 8:20 a.m. and it's already 80 degrees out here. Oh, I wish that cool morning would have lasted longer.
Hanksville, Utah is home to the super unique Hollow Mountain Store. I heard that a law prohibited the shopkeeper to set up a store within a certain distance from the road, so he built his shop into the cliffside. This is the Bull Mountain Market in Hanksville. I love these full-service small grocery stores in these small towns. So much nicer than your convenience stores. I actually have some produce, and I got myself some nice snacks. I've resupplied at the Bull Mountain Market. Just waiting for Peter and Paul. Gonna propose my plan to them where I'd like to go farther actually than the Colorado River today to cut into some of tomorrow's 7,300 foot climb. Since I'm making good time,
and it's only 10 a.m. That's the idea. We'll see how I feel once I get to the river.
This is the start to the infamous 125-mile stretch of no services from Hanksville to Blanding. Our goal is to not end up as crow-pecked skeletons half buried in sand. I'm certain this is what the authors at the Adventure Cycling Association were thinking of when they penned this about the Western Express route. It challenges the rider with extreme weather and riding conditions as well as logistical obstacles. One's efforts are rewarded, however, by experiencing some of the least visited and most magnificent areas of the American West.
I'm not looking forward to doing this next stretch. I'm looking forward to having had done this next stretch. I got an encouraging thumbs up from a car headed the other direction as I embark on this 125-mile stretch between cities with no services. I shared my plan with Peter and Paul. They said that sounds good. They might be doing the same, depending on how their legs feel when they get to the river. I'm carrying about 4 1/4 liters of water. All the water I can carry. Plenty of food. More than enough food. I can't carry any more water than I have right now with the containers I have. They're all full. Worst case scenario, the universal symbol for I need water is to hold an upside down water bottle on the side of the road until a car stops. I hope it doesn't come to that before I reach Landing tomorrow night. When I'm riding into a headwind, like I am now and have been for the past 10 miles, I find myself fixated on the grasses growing next to the side of the road. I'm looking at how their tips are bending to give myself justification for, yeah, that is a headwind, and yes, it is slowing me down. And the tips of those grasses are in fact bending right back toward me. That reads, cows on highway next 13 miles. Welcome to India. 25 miles down, 100 miles to go. Stopped at the Hog Springs Recreation area. They just have pit toilets, no water, unfortunately. And I've just been buffeted 36 miles straight with headwinds. I'm guessing those headwinds were, 15 mile per hour gusts up to 40 miles per hour. And that was the slowest downhill I've ever been on. Downhill usually, I can coast. And I was cranking on the downhills. On this one, I only coasted a couple times, and it was slow at that. So this has been hard going. To give you an idea of the headwind, I'm going 5 miles per hour on flat ground. 5 miles per hour on flat ground. This isn't fair. And it's 95 degrees outside right now at 2:50 p.m. Oh. degrees. And I'm climbing a 7 to 8% grade. And there's still the headwind. I want to find all the people out there who have cycled coast to coast and who have said, you know what, it was easier than I thought it would be. I want to find them, go to their house, and make them eat a bowl of spider webs. Trail Angels from Reno, Nevada. I was stopped taking some photos on the bridge overlook and I saw a vehicle coming. I grabbed my water bottle and I waved it at them. They drove right past thinking, and I thought, struck out. Anyhow, they stopped at the end of the bridge. So I quick jumped on the bike and biked over there. And they were so kind. They had this big reservoir of water. They said, how much you need? I said, I can take up to 4 liters. And they said, take as much as you want. And I filled everything up. And they said, well, why don't you fill up your belly as much as you can? And then, so I did that with one of the water bottles and filled that up again. So I told them they were Trail Angels. I gave them one of my cards. Maybe they'll watch this on YouTube and know, based on everything else that happened so far on day 19, how appreciated they are for giving me that water. I think I have enough water to get me to Blanding now without having to beg for any more on the side of the road. The Colorado River, the Grand Canyon, is downriver that way, several hundred miles. The Trail Angels from Reno told me that the weather in southern Utah has been unseasonably warm, 10 degrees warmer than average for this time of year. So I'm not making it up. Look at that slot canyon. Amazing. decision time. I'm at 101 miles. Every mile that I press on, every foot that I climb, is one fewer mile, one fewer foot I have to do tomorrow. And tomorrow is absurd. 7,000 foot climb. So I like the idea of edging into that, especially if I can ride here at dusk. The sun hasn't set yet, but it's behind clouds and the temperature has got a bit more comfortable. I'm looking forward to the point when it's down so I can shed some of these layers that I use for blocking the sun, like my gloves and arm bands and hat and neck gaiter. That should be pretty comfortable riding because I can still press on a little bit. And if I stop, I'm just setting up a tent and it's still pretty hot. What am I gonna do? So I don't think I'm gonna be stopping real quickly. Another benefit to riding at dusk is automobile traffic is quite down. These rural areas, people are already at their destination this time of the evening. That wind has almost completely died down. Oh, this is so much nicer riding in the early evening than midday in that headwind. I've been actively biking today for 9 hours total, but I started biking this morning 11 hours ago. This only counts the moving time. I'm shocked that I spent 2 hours not moving, but I guess that's right. I spoke too soon. The headwind is back, much lighter than before. On this episode of Bicycle Kit Roadside Partial Striptease, we have David shedding his sun protection gear. YouTube might censor this as explicit content. Parents, cover your children's eyes. This isn't going to be pretty. I feel so unencumbered and free. Also noticing that my arms and upper arms are getting red. I wear those arm sleeves all the time and they were advertised on Amazon as SPF, but maybe all day baking in the sun with my arms outstretched like this, getting the direct rays. Like maybe I need another layer of protection on those. The forest road that I scouted on my map a while back as a good camping site is currently occupied by 2 motorcycles and a trailer. Hopefully they don't mind me encroaching. I'll keep my distance from them. These motorcycle campers are doing it right, and they said it's fine for me to set up camp over here, far away from them. I told them I'd be getting an early start in the morning and don't want to disturb them. Daily recap from inside the tent. Difficulty was a 9. Those headwinds were the worst part of the ride. You know how Dementors in Harry Potter, they suck all the joy out of you and make you feel like you're never going to be cheerful again? Headwinds are the equivalent of Dementors in cycle touring. The road conditions a 5, and my overall feeling of positivity. You know, it gave me a bit of a boost to be putting in all those miles. I didn't think I'd get that far, so that made me feel pretty positive. I'll say it's a 7. I am still quite nervous about all the climbing tomorrow and another long day after that, but I'm going to bed with a smile on my face. The motorcycle group has good taste in music.